right here in Taiwan for the home finale of the Formosa Dreamers right here in your Asean Basketball League season number 8. Second game of a back-to-back for them as they face the Singapore Slingers this afternoon at Changhua County Stadium. 10th game of the season. Martin Javier with Marco Benitez breaking this game down for you guys, and a lot of fans coming out, of course. They want to see, for the last time at least here at home, the home squad play in front of the crowd. So Marco, interesting matchup here between the Formosa Dreamers and the Singapore Slingers. Slingers lost a tough game against the CLS Knights at home by 1 point, 65-64. And Formosa Dreamers lost yesterday against Chongsun Kung Fu by 22 points.
That is correct, Martin. And for the Slingers, this is going to be a big game for them because they want to lock up that number 5 spot. Of course, they are battling it out with the Saigon Heat. Currently, the Slingers are at 10-8, Saigon Heat at 9-9. But as you mentioned, this is a very proud organization, Formosa Dreamers. So they are looking for a win here in this final home game this season. And as it has been this entire season, the home crowd support has just been amazing, and they deserve at least a victory in the perspective of the Formosa Dreamers.
Now, before we go through things for the pregame, let's go to the team presentations and to our Coliseum announcer. All right, both teams at midcourt. The Formosa Dreamers want to snap their 15-game losing streak against the Singapore Slingers, who lost a crucial one against the CLS Knights in their previous contest, 65-64. Martin Javier again with Marco Benitez for the last game of the Formosa Dreamers here in Changhua County Stadium, and they want to end their homestand with a bang. And this is what our team standings is looking like at this stage of the season. The Singapore Slingers clinging to that 5th spot, 1 game ahead of the Saigon Heat.
With 2 games remaining for the Singapore Slingers, they will still be playing the Formosa Dreamers after this, or for this game, and then the Saigon Heat after this one. So they still have a mathematical chance of tying San Miguel Ala Pilipinas in case San Miguel Ala Pilipinas loses their 2 remaining outings against the CLS Knights. But what they want to take care of is securing 5th spot here by getting these 2 wins. Remember, they are still being chased by the Saigon Heat, currently at 9-9. For the Formosa Dreamers, this was their previous matchup, 72-65. It was a close game. This was the first game of Cameron Forte, I believe, in the Dreamers lineup, and he had a good showing in that outing. Came out with 26 points, 16 rebounds. Aguilar had 11 points and 6 rebounds, but they were out-rebounded 53-39 by the Singapore Slingers, and that is going to be one of the things that we are going to be looking at as the keys to victory here. Dreamers cannot be out-rebounded here at home, and they cannot be dominated inside the paint by the Singapore Slingers.
But these are the results for both teams in their previous contests yesterday. The Dreamers lost to Chongsun Kung Fu 105-83. And for the Singapore Slingers, we keep mentioning this because they lost by a point against the number 8 team, CLS Knights, at the OCBC Arena.
For the Slingers, they won't really overwhelm you with their offense, but they are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Actually, they are the best in terms of opponents' points per game, limiting opponents to just 80 points and 42% from the field. So the Dreamers have a chance here if they will try to grind out a win here. They minimize their mistakes, try to pound the ball inside the paint to Aguilar and Cameron Forte. You know, the Dreamers will, the Singapore Slingers rather, will be playing without Delvin Go, Larry Liu, and Leon Kwek because of national service. So undermanned are the Slingers. So this is a big opportunity here for the Dreamers to steal a victory against a playoff squad.
And it is going to be a crucial matchup. This could be, their farewell gift to the fans who have supported them from the first game of the season until this afternoon. Xavier Alexander had a tough game against the CLS Knights. Well, this season he is having a stellar year, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. But in that game against CLS, only 18 points, 5 and 6 assists, while being guarded by Keith Jensen pretty much all throughout the game.
And we expect that possibly Cameron Forte, possibly Kenny Chien will be matched up against Xavier Alexander. Had 16 points and 12 rebounds to go along with 10 assists. That was a triple-double against the Dreamers. Another guy who we'll be looking at is Chris Charles, their big man in the middle, who had 34 points and 16 rebounds. Of course, the guy on your screens, Ang Han Bin, will be crucial because they will need his outside shooting. Formosa knows that the Singapore Slingers squad is not a great 3-point shooting team, so they most likely will pack it inside the paint. And you will need guys like Ang Han Bin, AJ Mandani, even Larry Liu, Larry Liu not here, but Ang Han Bin and AJ Mandani will keep the defense honest and be the zone breaker against the Dreamers.
Ang Han Bin has been stellar from the 3-point range this year, shooting 35% from that area, and leads the local players in scoring this year for the Singapore Slingers. Now on the other side, Woo Sung Wei, who is on a slump for the past 2 games, only had 8 points yesterday against Chongsun Kung Fu, but did not have the usual touches because of the defense thrown at him by Chongsun Kung Fu.
Just 4 field goal attempts, although he shot 3 out of 4, 2 out of 2 from long distance. As we take a look at our veteran officiating crew, but Woo Sung Wei will have to up his game and really try to improvise, get better looks, try to create more possibly for himself, and don't just hang back and rely on those kickouts because defenses have locked in and stayed home on him to prevent them from getting those open looks.
That is Chris Charles and team manager Michael Johnson on your screens, alongside coach Neo Beng Xiang. Starting 5 for the Singapore Slingers, a bit different this afternoon because of Delvin Go's serving national service. He will be replaced by Russell Lowe in the starting 5, alongside Ang Han Bin, AJ Mandani, Chris Charles, and the X-Man Xavier Alexander. And on the other side, this is also the starting unit for coach Shihao Cheng yesterday against Chongsun Kung Fu, going with Yang Tian-yo, Shen Yuhan, Cheng Chi Kwan, Cameron Forte, and Ronnie Aguilar at the middle.
And as we have been harping all season long, this is a young Dreamers squad who continues to learn as the games progress. Hopefully they will be able to limit their mistakes, lessen their turnovers. They gave up 26 or 22 turnovers, which resulted in 22 points off turnovers against the Singapore Slingers in their last outing. Hopefully they will make better decisions, take quality or better quality shots, and try to stick to their game plan of pounding the ball inside to their main men in Ronnie Aguilar and Cameron Forte. And hopefully that will pay dividends for them tonight, or this afternoon.
Now what's the key now for the Singapore Slingers? Marco missing 3 key guys. Again, Larry Liu, Delvin Go, and Leon Kwek, all serving national service and actually saving up their 14-day leave come playoff time here in the Asean Basketball League. Well, what's the game plan here for the Slingers?
I think for the Slingers, another thing is they have to minimize their turnovers as well. They have to dictate the pace. Dreamers will look to push the ball, get baskets in transition. Slingers have to take care of the basketball. They have to dominate inside. As you mentioned, they out-rebounded Formosa 53-39, 25-10 in terms of the offensive glass. And of course, they have to play great interior defense. We know Chris Charles, former MVP here, will play defense against Ronnie Aguilar. Xavier Alexander, I believe Russell Lowe will be matched up against Cameron Forte. So they have to stifle both Aguilar and Cameron Forte, whom we know love to produce inside the paint.
All right, ball is up here, and you mentioned Marco. Dictating the tempo will be key here for the Singapore Slingers. Do you feel like they played to the pace of the CLS Knights in their previous game?
Oh yes, I feel they did, because Knights are a gritty type of team. They like to score in transition as well. As we see this first basket coming from Ronnie Aguilar off a rebound and off a fast break. That is the type of game the Dreamers will try to play here against a more deliberate and more veteran Slinger squad.
A good spirited start for the Formosa Dreamers. Chris Charles missing the jumper from the baseline. Here is Cameron Forte. He scored 33 points yesterday. Turns the ball over there. But a steal by Chen Yuhan. Step out of bounds. So ball will go back to the Slingers.
And going back to that, the defensive possession for Ronnie Aguilar. Those are the shots you want Chris Charles to take, because not only are they lower percentage shots, he's also not in the paint to try to get offensive rebounds.
AJ Mandani inside, kicks it out. Ang Han Bin, deadly from 3-point range. Rattles that one out.
Well, that is the lesser of two evils. Ang Han Bin taking outside shots, or Alexander and Chris Charles trying to score inside.
Ronnie Aguilar hustling for the rebound here. Jump ball. So it's going to be Slingers basketball.
That's great effort there from both Aguilar and AJ Mandani. Quick early substitution here. Luo Jinshan coming in for Yang Tianyo. Coach Su Hao Chen not happy with the way Yang has started out this game.
With only a minute and 17 seconds gone in the game. Luo Jinshan, of course, was steady off the bench yesterday. Scored 2 points.
So you have Chen Chi Kwan picking up Xavier Alexander to begin this game.
Mandani gets the basketball. Closely guarded by Luo Jinshan. Russell Lowe. 8 seconds to shoot for the Slingers. Lowe banging bodies with Cameron Forte, and he gets the hook.
And that's a good move there for Russell Lowe. If you can force Cameron Forte to exert a lot of effort on defense, that might take away some of his effort on the offensive end.
Cameron Forte, the hop step, doesn't get the shot. And Forte fouled on the second attempt.
That's his favorite side of the court, attacking on his left, because that left-handed sky hook of his is almost unstoppable.
Cameron Forte, 5 out of 8 from the free throw line yesterday. Very young, 24 years old, from Portland State. A gifted scorer, and he is showing us just that here in season number 8, with 5 games in, with the Formosa Dreamers averaging 32.5 points and 18.5 rebounds per contest.
And Chen Chi Kwan almost with a steal on that inbound.
Dreamers up by 2. Approaching 2 minutes gone here. Full court press applied by the Dreamers.
And Luo and AJ Mandani getting at it.
Alexander. We gotta get it across. Alexander now guarded by Chen Chi-Kwan. Great defense here by the Dreamers. Luo almost getting the steal. Mandani with the basketball. 1 second to shoot. And they do not get the shot off.
Mandani should have taken that shot. Did not realize that there were less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. There was no time for Chris Charles to make a move and get all the way to the basket.
That's the way. That's the way to set the tone here in this contest. A bucket and a defensive stop for the Formosa Dreamers, but they turn the ball over. Mandani on the break. Gets the contact from Luo Jinshan and the bucket.
And that's what we talked about. 2 early turnovers here for the Dreamers. Cannot afford to make those types of mistakes against the Slingers. They're not a run and gun type of team, but they will make you pay once you commit turnovers. Had 22 turnover points against the Dreamers last game.
AJ Mandani at the free throw line. Mandani averaging 9 points per game in his first season with the Singapore Slingers. Completes the 3-point play.
And you know, the Slingers also had 19 turnover points against the CLS Knights, forcing them to about 17 turnovers in last Sunday's matchup.
And here's the pressure now from the Slingers. Chris Charles with a rejection there. Ang Han Bin able to catch the pass. Saves it to the wrong man. Cameron Forte on the move. 2-on-1. Loses the basketball. Third turnover in the first 3 minutes of the game for the Formosa Dreamers.
Both teams committing a lot of mistakes early on. That's a nice lob pass there. Nice setup job for Xavier Alexander. Defense has got to talk and tell Chen Chi-Kwan that there's a back screen coming for him.
And Singapore up by 3. Chen Yuhan, the floater in the lane. It's off. Han Bin to Mandani. AJ Mandani with the left hand.
Slingers looking to run early in this game, so beating the Dreamers in their type of contest. 9-4 start.
7-0 run here by the Singapore Slingers. Forte hasn't scored.
That's a good challenge there from Xavier Alexander.
Here's Mandani surveying the floor. Will slow it down for Singapore. Chris Charles back to Mandani. AJ with a save to Russell Lowe. He does not get the bucket, but Chris Charles on the second attempt.
And Ronnie Aguilar has to do a better job boxing out Chris Charles. He's the thicker of these two centers. No reason for Chris Charles to be able to get around him.
Chris Charles, 2-time ABL MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Asean Basketball League. Aguilar on the jumper. That didn't work for him yesterday.
Yep. That's a good sign for Aguilar. He missed about 4 jumpers against Justin Howard yesterday.
Second basket here for Ronnie Aguilar. Russell Lowe against Forte. Lowe with a nice move up and under. He is fouled. 2 shots coming here for Russell Lowe. First personal on Forte.
Another good move there for Russell Lowe. Got Cameron Forte up in the air. Could have possibly drawn a foul against Forte. But I like the strategy of Coach Neo Beng Shang trying to attack and make Cameron Forte work inside the paint.
Couple of substitutions here for the Dreamers. Lee Cha-Ching and Woo Sung-Wei checking in.
That was the first personal foul on Cameron Forte. Oh, sorry, that was against number 6 of the Dreamers. So I think they gave it to Ronnie Aguilar.
Very strangely here, Marco, Cameron Forte sent to the bench by Coach Xiao Cheng.
Full court pressure or half court trap, delaying trap being employed by the Slingers.
Luo setting it on top, double team. Aguilar. 6 seconds to shoot for the white shirts. Aguilar off the spin with the left hand, fouled inside.
And you see Aguilar very effective once he goes to that move of his, spinning to the middle. time drawing the foul against Ong Han Bin, if I'm not mistaken.
Timeout on the floor, Singapore Slingers. Up by 6 points, 12-6. Welcome back to our coverage here inside Changhua County Stadium. Home finale for the Formosa Dreamers. And they are down by 6 points, 12-6. The Singapore Slingers on a 12-2 run here in the first quarter. Ronnie Aguilar will take 2 shots. Aguilar scoring 2 baskets earlier, 1 throwdown and 1 mid-range jumper.
And very uncharacteristic of the Slingers, 7 fast break points already. They have 10 points in the paint compared to just 4 for the Dreamers. And one of the keys we mentioned is Dreamers have to dominate the scoring inside the paint, especially with both Aguilar and Forte. Really loving that inside.
Forte is changing. He is on the bench right now. Chris Charles off the fake. No good. And last touch on the Slingers.
Good defense there coming from Ronnie Aguilar. A little bit of pressure on the Slingers.
5-point advantage. Over halfway done here in our first quarter. Luo Jin Shen, and the pressure continues here on top for the Singapore Slingers. Woo Sung Wei, nice fake. Tried to pass it to Ronnie Aguilar, but too many red shirts in the way.
Wu had an open 10-footer as he dribbled past Chris Charles. Nice help defense there coming from Alexander, and the quick hands deflecting that pass to Ronnie Aguilar.
Yang Tianyeo back in the game. Luo Jin Shen will check out. Lee Cha-ching drops it off to Chen. No good off the glass. Desmond Oh, who just came to the ball game, grabs the rebound.
Team captain of the Slingers.
Alexander flips it up and flips it in. What a shot there for the X-Man.
That's just upper body strength there coming from Xavier Alexander. Chen Yuhan was right in front of him all the way.
Slingers back on top by 7. Aguilar from the free throw line, in and out this time.
And those are the shots that Justin Howard was giving him all afternoon long yesterday, and he just could not convert.
Aguilar was 7 out of 20 from the field, and a foul by Lee Cha-ching, getting too aggressive on Russell Lowe. So here comes Cameron Forte, Marco, replacing Lee Cha-ching after serving 2 minutes on the bench.
Just a quick breather there for Cameron Forte. Let's see if he comes out more aggressive this latter portion of the first quarter.
Cameron Forte hasn't made a basket. He's only taken 2 shots as Mandani nails the jumper.
It's a nice sideline inbounds play for AJ Mandani, who shoots 37% from the field.
Aguilar. Oh, Mandani sneaking in for that steal. Here's AJ. Lobs it up to Xavier Alexander. Alexander inside.
And another turnover for the Dreamers, resulting in another transition basket for the Slingers. They're not one of the best defensive teams for nothing.
First Or second time here by AJ Mandani. Slingers up by 11 points.
It's flat. Down screen.
Back to our coverage here. And Marco, yesterday the Formosa Dreamers had only 5 turnovers all game long. And this afternoon, they have 5 in the first quarter.
That is correct. And, you know, the Chongson Kung Fu is not a team that likes to force turnovers. They're not a team that likes to press. In contrast to the Slingers, who are double-teaming that ball screen, forcing Luo Jianxian and Yang Tianyo to really dribble out of it. Especially when Chris Charles or Xavier Alexander is the doubler. They really block the vision of the point guard of the Dreamers, making it difficult to pass out of the double team. So that has resulted in a couple of turnovers already for the Dreamers.
That is the name of the game for the Singapore Slingers. They've been doing it for a long time.
That's correct. And Coach Neo is a master of defensive schemes. They're not the type of team like a Hong Kong who will press you full court and force turnovers in the open floor. But at the half court, they're such a great defensive team.
Here's a great matchup. Woo Sung Wei off the screen, knocks it down.
Nice setup job off the timeout there for the Dreamers, setting up their #1 shooter, who shoots it about 52% from long distance.
Woo Sung Wei trying to bounce back from yesterday's game. Here's Kelvin Lim with a putback.
And, you know, rebounding has to be a team effort here for the Dreamers. They saw that Aguilar was the one who challenged the shot of Alexander. Everybody else has to come in and get a rebound.
Kenny Chen from the corner gets it through.
That's a big bonus there for the Dreamers. Nice penetration and kick out coming from Luo.
So back-to-back hits from the outside. Chris Charles from mid-range, and that's an answer for the Slingers.
And quiets the crowd right there. Chris Charles shoots at about 48%, but most of those coming from inside the paint.
It's back to a 9-point lead. Whoa, falls down. Forte picks it up. He sends it to Kenny Chen. Too strong this time. Oh, but it's going to be last touch by the Formosa Dreamers. So Slingers basketball.
Nice effort there for AJ Mandani, saving that ball and causing Kenny Chen to be the one to touch it last.
1:47 remaining here in the first quarter. It is a 9-point lead by the visiting squad. AJ Mandani, a free lane to the basket.
Nice clear up job there, clearing that side of the floor, allowing that backdoor cut by AJ Mandani.
And an ill-advised shot by Luo Jianxian on the other side. Forte gets the takeaway.
Judy foul coming from Desmond O. Knew he did not have a chance against that spin move of Cameron Forte. But they're going to send Forte back to the line for 2 free throws.
Cameron Forte, 33 points and 14 rebounds yesterday against Chongson Kung Fu.
And so far, 3 out of 3 from stripe.
A better showing here, as he was 5 out of it yesterday. Down to a 9-point game again. The X-Man gives it off to Kelvin Lim. Desmond O sends it to Mandani, who fires from the right wing, too strong.
Another good rebound here for Cameron Forte. Now he's matched up against Xavier Alexander.
He kicks it out. Kenny Chen takes it strong. Kenny Chen off the glass. That doesn't work, and a foul off the bump by Luo Jinshen.
Possibly preventing another transition basket. And Slingers very conscientiously trying to force the transition game against a Dreamer squad. I guess they feel that Aguilar and Cameron Forte don't get back in transition as quickly as Alexander and Chris Charles.
And the Slingers are getting a lot of good shots here in the first quarter. 11 out of 16 from the field. Alexander denied by Forte.
And Forte meeting him up top.
Kenny Chen now. Back to Forte. What a pass. Forte with a throwdown.
And that's the type of game that they can capitalize on. Good defensive stop resulting in transition baskets.
And what a counter there. Silencing the crowd again by Desmond.
Cross matchup. Wu was able to was the one defending Alexander in the post. Nobody picked up Desmond up top.
10-point game. 10 seconds remaining here in the first. Last possession for Formosa. Luo Jinshen off the crossover from the free throw line. Gets it back. Doesn't make the basket on the second try.
Luo taking too many dribbles. The only guy touching that ball on that possession was Luo Jinshen. Did not try to capitalize on his bigs. So resulting in a missed shot and a defensive rebound by the Slingers.
A similar start from yesterday's game. Singapore Slingers up big, up in double figures. 10 points, 27-17. Second quarter action when we return here in Changhua County Stadium. Here in your Asean Basketball League, and entering the second quarter of this contest between the Formosa Dreamers and Singapore Slingers. The visiting squad up by 10, 27-17. Aguilar fires away. Now 1 out of 3 from mid-range.
That's another missed 15-footer there for Ronnie Aguilar, who was actually wide open on that sequence, but Luo was not able to dump the ball down into him.
AJ Mandani blows by Luo Jinshen and gets fouled from behind.
And that's going to send Chen Yuhan to the scorer's table. Substitute Luo Jinshen.
That's the third personal foul of Luo Jinshen, the 25-year-old.
Played about close to 8 minutes in that first quarter. And was scoreless though.
Xavier against Forte, flips it up and in.
And I like how the Slingers are trying to attack Cameron Forte inside the paint, whether it's Russell Lowe or Xavier Alexander. They're really trying to make Forte work.
Xavier Alexander with 8 points here in the first half on 4 out of 7 shooting. Here's Forte, he will try to counter. Forte off the left hand. It's good.
And that left hand really very difficult to defend against, especially if he gets his body in between that ball and the defender.
So Forte also reaches 8 points. Desmono against the taller and longer Chen Yuhan. They go to Chris Charles. Charles back to Mandani. Back to Charles here. Puts it on the floor. Chris Charles off the hook. A traveling violation.
Good defense there by the Dreamers. Singapore used up almost the entire shot clock, but Aguilar was able to stay with Chris Charles.
Chris Charles actually has the quickness advantage over Ronnie Aguilar. Just unable to use it there. Chen Yuhan straight to the hoop. A wild shot put up by Chen. AJ drops it off. Kelvin Lim could not finish.
Good challenge from Kenny Chen.
Chen on the move. Woo Sung Wei fires. Too strong. That was well contested by Desmono.
And you got your two big men, Ronnie Aguilar and Cameron Forte, in the paint in transition. So, but you settle for a three-point shot.
Not the wisest decision from Woo Sung Wei. AJ Mandani gets the foul on the other end.
And without Mandani's aggressiveness, trying to attack the paint, whether it's against Luo Jin Shen and now it's against Chen Yuhan.
That's the second personal foul on Chen Yuhan.
Mandani already with 9 points, 4 out of 5 from the field. Perfect 1 out of 1 from the stripe.
So AJ reaching his point average here in the season, and we're only in the first half. Mitchell Fokoff enters for Desmono.
Mandani is actually the leading scorer here for the Slingers. This is on the first though. Mandani actually leads all scorers now with 11 points.
AJ has shown brilliance in several games this season. I think twice against San Miguel Ala Pilipinas and one against Chongson Kung Fu, wherein he scored 20+ points. Here's Alexander with a steal. Oh, loses the ball in transition.
He got a little too excited when he saw one guy back in Kenny Chen defending against him. Lost the handle.
Still an 11-point game.
There's a double team on the ball screen.
Chen Yuhan. They find Aguilar down low. Aguilar. Short hook goes off the glass.
And again, as long as they can keep pounding the ball inside the Cameron Forte and Ronnie Aguilar, they've been successful getting basket. But that's going to be a backcourt violation, as Alexander was not yet set inside the front court.
Back-to-back turnovers here for Xavier Alexander.
Singapore Slingers right now with 5 turnovers.
They go to Forte down low. Off the spin again. Forte with a finish.
That time opting to spin to the baseline, as he had previously been spinning to the middle.
Cameron Forte, 10 points. Charles to Mandani. He has the hot hand. Stolen away by Aguilar. Chen Yuhan on the move. And a foul on Kelvin Lim while defending Cameron Forte at the post.
That's going to be just the first personal, or first team foul rather. Nice spin move there by Cameron Forte, using that elbow to clip or to pin down Alexander as he spun to the baseline. Mandani's going to get his first taste of the bench.
And that cuts the lead down to 7 points. Kenny Chen off the inbound. Alexander out that pass, too strong for Kelvin Lim to catch.
And Alexander has deliberately been trying to hit his teammates with that forward pass. Although they've committed about 2 turnovers trying that long pass on the break.
Third turnover for Xavier in this contest, all coming here in the second quarter. They go to Forte again. This time he will come from the three-point line. Barrett takes it in, denied by Charles. Aguilar gets it back and gets fouled with 3 seconds to shoot.
But again, they keep pounding the ball inside, not settling for outside shots, and it's been paying dividends. Lead is down to 7 for the Dreamers.
Dreamers have 12 points in the paint. Not winning that matchup against the Singapore Slingers though here in the first half, who has 20.
And for a time, it was a 20-4 advantage in terms of points in the paint.
Ronnie Aguilar coming from El Salvador, resuming his professional play in basketball this year in 2018 after a 2-year hiatus.
Averages about 17 points and 12 rebounds for the Dreamers.
25-30, lead is down to 5. Alexander goes baseline, one-on-one against Forte, and he loses the basketball.
Another turnover there for Xavier Alexander. Turnover number 4. Again, off the dribble.
Make that 9 turnovers now for the Singapore Slingers here in the first half. Woo Sung Wei will get it back to Forte. He will bring the ball down against Xavier Alexander. Forte drops it off. Aguilar with a jam and a foul.
And again, another basket inside the paint coming off that post-up from Cameron Forte. Drew the double from Chris Charles, leaving Ronnie Aguilar wide open for the flush.
And the crowd coming alive here in Changhua County Stadium. Here's that jam again. What a dish for Forte to Ronnie Aguilar.
So now Coach Neo Beng Xiang sends back another big man in Russell Lowe. Most likely he will be the one to pick up Cameron Forte so that the double team can come from either Xavier Alexander or Chris Charles.
Again, reminder, Singapore Slingers are a bit thin. The front line, at least today's game, without David Go in the lineup. Xavier Alexander fouled on the drive by Chen Yu-han.
Nice back cut there from Alexander. They may be thin in terms of bench depth, but in terms of actual height, they're still the bigger team. Once you send in their, because even Ang Han Bin is tall for a wingman.
Ang stands about 6'4".
And with this lineup of the Dreamers, Cameron Forte plays the 4 spot. You have Chen Yu-han, Charles Barrett, and Woo Sung Wei as their guards. So Russell Lowe with a clear mismatch against Charles Barrett.
Let's see if they will go to Lowe. Oh, but nice play off the inbound. Charles just unable to get a handle off the basketball. Aguilar towers for that rebound. Chen Yu-han on the move. He will go to Woo Sung Wei. Forte, ball stolen away.
Careless pass there coming from Woo.
Chris Charles running on the break. Charles denied by Ronnie Aguilar.
And Ronnie Aguilar with some words to say to a former defensive player of the year.
What a block and effort there for Ronnie Aguilar.
The Slingers have been stuck at 30 points for more than 2 minutes now.
Let's see if they could break the dry spell here. They go to Russell Lowe. Foul on the floor. They say it's on the push by Kenny Chen.
The moment you put 2 hands on a player who's trying to post up, that's almost an automatic call by the referees.
And Coach Xiao Cheng not liking the call. Ong fires away. In and out. And last touch on Ronnie Aguilar. So Singapore Slingers will have...
The referees are going to confer.
Let's see if they're going to reverse the call. All right, so they reverse the call. It's going to be Dreamers basketball.
Sideline referee. Looks like he had the better angle.
Lead is down to 3.
And you can sense the crowd getting ready to erupt here.
Singapore Slingers led by as many as 12 points earlier. Here's Forte. Drops it off. Aguilar
And you got to go up hard if you're Aguilar. The moment you bring the ball down for a dribble, hands are going to try to swipe at it.
Ong Han Bin, no good on the mid-range J, but Charles on the follow.
Chris Charles getting the better of Aguilar that time.
Chris Charles, only his second basket off the game with 4 rebounds.
There's a double team again.
And Changhua really having difficulty there. Turns the ball over. Chris Charles. Back-to-back hits for Chris Charles.
And that time we're off another turnover. You know, the Dreamers have to expect that double team once they use the screen. So somebody has to come out and be the release pass. And they can attack that because that's automatically a 3 against 2 or a 4-on-3 situation.
The Singapore Slingers using a 4-0 run to create this 7-point advantage. Timeout on the floor. Back after this. Back to our coverage here. Singapore Slingers on a 4-0 run to take the 7-point lead, but the Formosa Dreamers have been at least better in the second quarters. 10-7 is our scoring here. Kenny Chen getting a lot of minutes in today's game. Goes to Ronnie Aguilar. Mid-range shot, it's off. 1 out of 4 now from that area.
And again, Chris Charles will be satisfied limiting or allowing those mid-range jumpers from Ronnie Aguilar. He's been ineffective from that range.
And a push again. This time it's against Charles Barrett.
Russell Lowe with a clear advantage height-wise. He's trying to post up against a smaller Barrett. And it's going to be free throws for Russell Lowe.
Formosa Dreamers in penalty situation with under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Russell Lowe will have to pick up the scoring without Delvin Go in the lineup.
And it may be interesting if the Dreamers try to switch to a zone here. Singapore Slingers not shooting that well, or not shooting well from long distance. 1 out of 4 from 3-point land, while the Dreamers are 2 out of 4. So because of the mismatch in terms of Russell Lowe against Charles Barrett, they may want to consider trying to go with their 2-3 zone, which was effective for a stretch against the Chongson Kung Fu yesterday.
And Russell Lowe has been effective so far here in the first half. 7 points. And he gives them the 9-point lead. Changhua goes to Forte. Backing down on Xavier Alexander. Forte crowded inside by 3 red shirts. Russell Lowe puts it on the floor. Does not finish. Charles. Ball stolen away. Picked up by Kenny Chen.
Great job there by Ronnie Aguilar getting back in transition.
Barrett, Changhua. They go to Forte again, this time against Charles. Forte denied. Easy block there by Chris Charles. Ong Han Bin left wide open from the corner, short. Long rebound goes to the X-Man. Alexander. Russell Lowe all the way to the hoop.
No help defense there on that penetration from Russell Lowe. And before you know it, a 3-point deficit now back up to 11 points.
Russell Lowe perfect from the field, 3 out of 3. This is for his 9th point of the game. 11-point lead, Singapore Slingers.
Screen away and see up and offensive rebound. Don't stay here.
Two and 59 remaining here in the first half, and the Singapore Slingers has answered the run made by the Formosa Dreamers. 8-0 now for the Singapore Slingers to take the 11-point lead.
And they're doing it on defense. Chris Charles has done a great job helping out on the primary defender of Cameron Forte. Dreamers now with 10 turnovers compared to the 9 of the Slingers. So you see Russell Lowe now picking up Cameron Forte.
Different matchup here. Forte. And now the foul is against Russell Lowe on the push.
But you notice the other 4 members of the Singapore Slingers ready to collapse in the paint once Forte is able to penetrate.
So Cameron Forte back to the free throw line, where he is perfect, 4 out of 4 so far. And if you're Coach Xiao Cheng, what a way to jinx it, right? You gotta put shooters around Cameron Forte if they continue to crowd on him in the paint.
Back-to-back misses there for Forte.
2 and 40 remaining. Still an 11-point lead. Chris Charles drops it off. Russell Lowe. Alexander. Back to Lowe. Cross court to Desmond. Back to Chris Charles. Who cannot get the finish. Kenny Chen on the crossover. What a drop off there. Forte off the window.
Cameron Forte asking for the foul, but he was the one who initiated the contact.
Alexander cannot counter Kenny Chen.
And that's going to be a technical foul.
It's going to be on Coach Neo Bengxiang.
I think it was because he was outside the coach's box.
So a free throw coming here for the Formosa Dreamers. And they will retain possession. Technical was called by our Malaysian referee, who was right in front of Coach Neo Bengxiang.
So a chance for the Dreamers to trim this deficit even further.
So far, it's been a 12-11 quarter in favor of the Formosa Dreamers. And Yang Tian-Yeo knocks down the technical free throw.
Let's see if they try to go to Aguilar or Cameron Forte in the post. It's been a very unorthodox backcourt here for the Dreamers. Some lineup we've not seen often, with Barrett and Kenny Chen on the floor.
Yang Tian-Yeo, here's the double team. Pressured now by Oh. Oh, what a crossover there. He drops it off to Forte. Forte back outside. 11 seconds to shoot for Formosa. Aguilar. Off the spin, stolen away again by Mandani.
And Mandani's been such a pesky defender in the post.
Kenny Chen gets the ball back. Denied by Russell Lowe. Here's AJ. He goes to Desmond, who fires. And The ball will remain with the Singapore Slingers.
Sorry possession there for Kenny Chan. 2-on-1 fast break. Gets blocked by Russell Lowe.
Here's the takeaway. The counter steal and then met up top by Russell Lowe.
And how big has Russell Lowe been playing today in the absence of Delvin Goh and Larry Liu and Leon Kwek?
Off the inbound, Chris Charles met by Forte, still able to flip it up and in.
Ronnie Aguilar once again getting caught in that back pick on the baseline inbounds.
Back to a 10-point lead. Yang Tianyeo drives and scores.
That's a tough shot there by Yang Tianyeo.
So Woo Sung Wei inserted here for Charles Barrett. Now this is a strong or a short guard lineup for coach Yao Cheng. Mandani able to capitalize and scores on the J.
Mandani continues to be aggressive. They've not been able to defend that handoff well, talking about the Dreamers.
Under a minute remaining, Yang Tianyeo, the ball fake. Foul on the floor, and Ronnie Aguilar will head back to the free throw line. It's going to be against AJ Mandani, Kelvin Lim.
Aguilar so far 3 out of 5 from the stripe. Kevin Forte 4 out of 6. As a team, they're 8 out of 12, while the Slingers are 5 of 7.
So the free throw shooting, it's been keeping Formosa in this game. And the game plan of going inside worked early on to begin the second quarter, Marco. The Singapore Slingers able to figure out how to stop that in the latter part of this quarter. The 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Russell Lowe, Desmono. Sticky defense by Yang Tianyeo. Oh, with a spin. Oh, they get the basket. But a foul, a whistle against Yang Tianyeo.
And that's just a veteran move there by the team captain Desmono. Saw the clear out as Chris Charles was on the elbow. Just patiently dribbled his way into the paint, spun against Yang Tianyeo and drew the foul. No help coming from the Dreamers.
And the Dreamers have been on or in penalty situation since the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. The captain Desmono knocks down the first free throw. Oh, with 4 points in the contest. 2 out of 2 there.
And you know, the Singapore Slingers will really not overwhelm you with offense like Hong Kong or Chong Son Kung Fu, but if they will force you to make mistakes, and they play high percentage basketball and they will score off of your mistakes.
Just like that, they've taken control of the scoring here in the second, 17-16, as Forte misses the last shot of the first half. So after 20 minutes of play, Singapore Slingers still with a double-digit advantage. 44-33 at the half. And leading the way for them is AJ Mandani, the PBA veteran with 14 points in the first half with 1 rebound and 2 assists. Russell Lowe following him with 9 points and 2 rebounds. On the other side, you have Forte and Aguilar with 12 points apiece. For the home squad, Formosa Dreamers playing in their home finale here in Changhua County Stadium. Here's
好，中场的休息时间，我们为你访问到徐浩成教练。那教练，其实我们在第一节到目前看起来，这个球队发生一个最重要的状况，就是控球每一个换上来的所谓的防守的意识跟所谓的失误比例太高。你自己身为控球，你要怎么去处理这个球队在下半场控球这一块？
第一个就是在进攻上面，他们的当我们来做 pick and roll 的时候，他们的中锋也是还秀出来给我们后卫一个很大的压力。所以在进攻这个圈，我希望我们的球员们能够勇于去突破他们的大个子。那在防守这一块，我们的后卫原本2个就是基本上是属于 undersize 的一个后卫。那所以我希望他从全场开始都给对方造成不断的压迫。所以提醒下半场中场进去的时候，我们希望要提醒球员能够在下半场的时候能够贯彻到这一点。
对，其实我们观察到上半场教练做了很多人员 员的快速的调换啊。那针对这一点，教练有什么样的想法？
第一个我们就希望说，我们的球员每一个人都能打。再来就是说，我们也希望能够用全场压迫的方式，所以在体力消耗上面也会比较大。那我们也希望用快速轮转的方式，让每个球员都能获得充分的休息。
好，谢谢许教练。那休息一下，我们进入中场的讲评。
Halftime here in Changhua County Stadium, resuming our coverage here of your Asean Basketball League. At the half, it is the Singapore Slingers with the 11-point lead, and it is a complete dominance in the rebounding department, doubling the effort of the Formosa Dreamers. 24-12 advantage for the Slingers, but they have turned the ball over 11 times, 4 coming from Xavier Alexander, all in that third quarter. But again, Singapore Slingers doing a great job in recovering in that second frame, and even taking control of the scoring, 17-16, to lead it by 11 points at halftime. And 44-33, biggest lead off the game for the Slingers was at 12. That was very early or later part of the first quarter. Now it's at 11 at halftime.
And take a look at the stats. Out rebounding the Formosa Dreamers are the Singapore Slingers. They've doubled up 24-12. The Dreamers doing a better job sharing the basketball, although turnovers also in favor of the Dreamers. That's 11 turnovers for the Dreamers actually, and 10 for the Slingers. So check that. 23 rebounds for Singapore, 16 for Formosa. Leading scorers for Singapore is AJ Mandani with 14 points. Nobody else in double figures, while for the Dreamers, Forte and Aguilar both have 12 points.
All right, it is 44-33 when we return. Highlights of the first half. You guys are watching the Asean Basketball League. This is season number 8. And we're back inside Changhua County Stadium, right here in your Asean Basketball League. Home finale for the Formosa Dreamers here in Taiwan. And we have a good Sunday crowd in the second game of a back-to-back for the home squad. But at halftime, 44-33 advantage for the Singapore Slingers. They are the visiting team. And these are the highlights. Ronnie Aguilar opened up the scoring with that throwdown in transition. As we mentioned, we keep mentioning in the coverage, Russell Lowe needs to come up big in the absence of Kelvin Go, and he has done a splendid job in the first half. 9 points to pick up the scoring. And AJ Mandani, you guys saw earlier, here he is against the layup. Leading the way now for the Singapore Slingers, way above his average. 9 points per game, 14 in the first half, and 6 out of it shooting. The only guy in double figures for the Slingers.
I think we have to stress the importance of this game for the Singapore Slingers, who are trying to lock in that 5th spot in the playoff race. Right now they're at 10-8 with another game to play after this one. while they are chasing them are the Saigon Heat, currently at 9-9, who have yet to play the Westport's Malaysia Dragons, and then they will face each other for the last game. So a crucial win needed here for the Singapore Slingers, again coming off a big loss, that 64-65 loss against the CLS Knights on their home floor.
The Singapore Slingers, if they win and take care of business here in Changhua County Stadium, they avoid a decider against the Saigon Heat for their last game in the elimination round. And again, securing and cementing that 5th spot in our team standings. Campbell Forte also scoring big for the Dreamers, 12 points. And speaking of scoring 12, Ronnie Aguilar also has 12 in the first half. 2 guys in double figures for the Formosa Dreamers, and next to them, 3 players with 3 points: Wu Sewei, Yang Xianyo, and Penny Xian. So the supporting cast need to step it up in the second half if they want to get back into this And then at the half, 44-33, Singapore Slingers with the 11-point advantage. Second half action coming up when we return right here in your Asean Basketball League. Moments away from the start of this second half. This is your Asean Basketball League game between the Formosa Dreamers and the Singapore Slingers. And going into the second half, the visiting squad up by 11 points, 44-33. But this is a much better position for the Dreamers than yesterday's game, because they were down by 24 points going into the second half against Chongsuan Kung Fu yesterday.
AJ Mandani continuing his hot shooting streak. Simple crossover there, getting Luo to bite, and then an easy 17-footer.
Biggest lead of the game for Singapore at 13. 46-33, Woo Sung Wei. They go to Forte. Back down low against Alexander. Cannot get the shot to fall.
That's good defense there coming from Xavier Alexander. That's the best defense you can put up. Just try to get your hands up and hope he misses. Almost too difficult to block that unless you're Chris Charles.
They say it's last touch by the Formosa Dreamers. So the Slingers will have 8.3 seconds to work with in this possession.
And for the Dreamers, they're going to have to play heads-up defense, because the Slingers is not the type of team who will commit a lot of mistakes.
Charles trying to go to Alexander. They missed the matchup there. Chris Charles scores underneath.
And Chris Charles just outplaying Ronnie Aguilar on that sequence.
Starting five from the Formosa Dreamers. Woo Sung Wei, Luo Jing-shen, inserted by coach Shi Hao Cheng. They get the ball back here. Fresh 14. Luo lets it fly. Luo, no good on the three. Alexander taps it to Mandani. Mandani on the move. Drop pass stolen away by Aguilar.
And Mandani had a wide open Russell Lowe on his right.
We go the other way. Forte, the spin, the fake, and the basket off the window.
You see how effective that left-handed hook shot is. Forte still asking for a foul from the referees.
Mandani from mid-range, still hot here in the second half.
Wow, Mandani unconscious right now. Just outplaying Luo Jin-shen, making mincemeat out of his defense.
18 points for AJ Mandani. Forte goes to Chen Yuhan, who fires from the baseline. That goes out of bounds.
If you're the Dreamers, they're doubling the point guard on that ball screen. I'd like to see them try to attack right away, not allow Chris Charles to be able to recover, because he's the one doubling the ball handler.
This was the move earlier by Cameron Forte over two defenders. 15-point advantage. Chris Charles back to Xavier. Alexander from the free throw line knocks it down.
Dreamers having a hard time defending that ball screen. And Slingers also isolating those two guys on one side of the floor.
That is only the 8th point of Xavier Alexander. Yang Qianyo drives, kicks it out to Wu. Woo Sung Wei stops. 6 seconds to shoot for the white shirts. Yang takes it in between the legs to Aguilar, in and out.
Nowhere to go once again on that possession for the Dreamers, using up a lot of clock.
Yang Qianyo getting the ball back for the Dreamers. Yang waits for his teammates. He will reset here. Forte again off the spin. Double team now. Forte kicks it out. 8 seconds. Yang to Chen Yuhan. Moves closer. Bumps into Ang Han Bin in a traveling violation on Chen.
How about that defense of the Singapore Slingers? Just very disciplined, staying on the ground, not biting on fakes, not trying to reach in, just staying in front of their man. That's good, solid half-court defense.
And that defense by the Slingers has forced 12 turnovers off the Formosa Dreamers, who only had 5 all game long yesterday against Chongsuan Kung Fu. Forte on the move now. Chen Yuhan from the corner knocks it down.
One of the few times that they've been successful with that penetration and kick out by Cameron Forte.
Chen Yuhan, his first basket in 5 tries this afternoon. Alexander on a mismatch against Chen Yuhan. Xavier spins, meets Forte on the help, but Chen first committing the personal foul.
Changhua just getting left out on an island there against Xavier Alexander. There's the grab. That's a veteran move as well from Xavier Alexander, clipping the arm of Changhua.
So Chen will go to the bench. Kenny Chen checks back in, who played almost 12 minutes in the first half, scored 3 points, 1 basket in 5 attempts.
They're going to try to put a more athletic defender on Xavier Alexander.
And off the inbound, Kenny Chen immediately committing a personal foul.
That's just a smart move there on Xavier Alexander. Eye contact with Russell Lowe. Quick bounce pass on the catch. And Alexander just muscling his way inside.
Xavier Alexander at the charity stripe. Breakout season for him this year. 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Last time these two teams met, he scored a triple-double, 16, 12, and 10. Russell Lowe gets the offensive rebound.
Another offensive rebound for the Slingers.
Lowe to Mandani. He has the hot hand. Mandani in and out. Forte gets the rebound. Outlet pass. Woo Sung-wei will slow it down. Sends it to Yang now. 16-point lead. And they call a kickball violation on Ronnie Aguilar.
Slingers have been so successful doubling that ball handler on that ball screen. That time, another turnover here for the Dreamers. That's going to be turnover number 13. And Slingers have scored 14 points off of those Formosa turnovers.
Chris Charles now. Back to Mandani. They go to Russell Lowe against Forte. Chris Charles from the free throw line gets it through.
Slingers just a step quicker on both offense and defense so far. It is now 18 points.
55-37. An 11-4 start by the Singapore Slingers. Forte behind the back pass. Aguilar.
Maybe that jumper.
It's 1 out of 5 now for Ronnie Aguilar from mid-range. Mandani stops, fires, and hits.
And Mandani's just outplaying the guards of the Dreamers, whether it's Luo Jin Shen, now it's Yang Tian-yo. Mandani already 22 big points to lead the Slingers.
Biggest lead off the game at 20 points, 57-37. And out on the floor, back after this. -4 start to the second half by the Singapore Slingers, and they lead it by 20 points. Their biggest lead off the game with under 5 remaining here in the third.
And again, they do not overwhelm you with their offense. They don't score in bunches, but every time you make a mistake, every time they make a stop, they're just very deliberate, very high percentage in terms of their offense.
And another turnover here by the Formosa Dreamers.
And that one was an unforced turnover. Just a wayward pass coming from Kenny Chen.
And how deadly is the Slingers team, Marco, with a very effective AJ Mandani on the offensive end.
It just gives them a different facet so that the defense does not have to focus solely on Chris Charles and Xavier Alexander.
And Mandani leading the way for the Slingers with 22 points. Kenny Chen double teamed and a foul. It's gonna be either on Chris Charles or Xavier Alexander.
But you know, Martin, despite that foul, that was almost a great trap there from both Chris Charles and Xavier Alexander. Russell Lowe doing a great job defending two Dreamers players so that Yang was not able to make, or Chen was not able to make a release pass. Another turnover here for the Dreamers.
Alexander on the move, drops it off. Chris Charles with a finish. And Chris Charles, 12 points now with 11 rebounds and 3 assists. They went to Cameron Forte, but again, the X-Man committing another personal foul.
That's going to be the third personal foul on Xavier Alexander. But Alexander and Chris Charles just outplaying their counterparts. Chris Charles especially putting up a better defensive effort.
And Ronnie Aguilar checks out. Tsai enters the game. Number 32, and Xavier Alexander, as you can see on your screens, that is his third personal foul. So he will be replaced by Kelvin Lim.
And because of their sizable lead, Coach Neo has the luxury to sit Alexander out probably for the remainder of this third quarter.
14, yes.
There's a double team once again.
And ball tapped from behind. Last touch on AJ Mandani. 8.5 seconds to work with for the white shirts. And AJ Mandani has been aggressive on both ends off the floor. 3 steals to go along with 22 points. Kenny Chen, Woo Sung-wei, the fake. The mid-range shot is in. Nothing but net for Woo.
But the baskets of Woo Sung-wei have been few and far between. Only his 5th point in 17 minutes of play.
We go to the other side. Chris Charles doesn't get the basket. Here comes Formosa. Forte on the run. Drops it off. Tsai with a fake. Does not get the basket.
And again, Chris Charles doing a great job getting back in transition. Able to challenge Chai's basket.
Under 3 remaining here. Foul called on Formosa. And that will be against Tsai.
I was trying to prevent Chris Charles from getting post position.
3rd team foul here for the Formosa Dreamers, who are down by 20 points. Getting outscored in the second half, 15-6 by the Singapore Slingers. Lim. Kelvin dribbles it down. Russell Lowe off the spin, back out to Kelvin Lim. Nowhere to go, a turnover for the Slingers.
That's heads-up defense there coming from Chai. He and Forte did a great job recovering.
That is turnover number 13 for Singapore. Kenny Chen will bring the ball down now. Chen. A couple of crossovers there. And the ball will go back to Singapore.
A wasted possession there for the Dreamers after making an excellent stop on their end. Full court pressure here for the white shirts. They need to force Singapore making errors. 12 turnovers right now for the red shirts.
Despino catches the ball. See if they can get it across. Russell Lowe. They are through. They go to Charles. Ball tapped away. Stolen by the Dreamers. Forte on the move. drives against Russell Lowe. Meets Charles. Does not make the shot. Kelvin Lim with the rebound. Lowe on the move. Lowe, who has been quiet here in the third. In and out. Cameron Forte now. Coast to coast. Forte, the hesitation. Here he is on the second try. Bucket finally for Forte.
Cameron Forte just so persistent with that left hand. Finally able to buy a basket.
Second basket in the second half for Cameron Forte. 16 points, but Charles with a quick answer for the Slingers.
That's just too easy there for Chris Charles. Simple turn to the middle and elevating above Chai.
Making that 14 and 11 now for Sir Charles. So it's going to be Formosa basketball here.
It's going to be a baseline inbound as Yan went for the pass instead of going up for the basket.
Stifling defense here by the Singapore Slingers, Marco, only allowing 41 points. They're actually number one in the league, only allowing 80.2 points per game.
That's correct, and they only allow 42% from the field, but Woo Sung-wei hits another one. 8 points in the game right now for Woo.
Off the inbound as well. Let's see if that basket can actually get them going here in the second half. Mantani, floater is no good. Rebounded by Charles. Charles off the left hand. Ball tap out of bounds. Last touch on Chris Charles. And the Dreamers will have possession. And they call it a long two for Woo Sung-wei.
So that's 7 points for Woo Sung-wei.
Yang Qian-yo escapes. Yang with a bucket and a foul.
Finally successful eluding that double team on that ball screen. And then a nice pass fake. And then going up hard for the finish.
What a ball fake there. Again, it's been there all season long for Yang Qian-yo. Gets the bucket there. And a chance for a three-point play.
That was a solid screen set up there by Chai. Completely erasing AJ Mandani.
So it is a 15-point game. 26 seconds remaining. Russell Lowe gets the basket to go.
Quick answer there for the Slingers. Chance for a last attempt. Still a lot of time. 10 seconds left on the clock.
No need to rush here for the Formosa Dreamers. They send it out. Kenny Chen knocks it down.
Big basket. Lead is down to 14. Still very manageable with a 1 quarter to go.
And after 30 minutes of play here in Changhua County Stadium, the Formosa Dreamers finishing strong in the third, cutting the lead down to 14. That was the last basket by Kenny Chen as the shot clock was winding down. 63-49 going into the fourth. Your Asean Basketball League will be back after this. We welcome you back to our coverage here in your Asean Basketball League, season number 8. And entering the 4th quarter of the home finale for the Formosa Dreamers. They are down by 14 big points, 63-49. Martin Javier with Marco Benitez working on this game. And Marco, for the Dreamers, how do they stay alive and possibly, get a victory over the visiting squad?
Had a good start to the 4th quarter for the Dreamers. Turnover by Yang Tian-yo. And this is going to be a foul on Chai against Chris Charles, trying to post up.
63-49. Slingers outscoring the Dreamers 19-16 in that 3rd quarter. And another foul here called on Yang Tian-yo. So 2 quick fouls with not even 30 seconds gone in our 4th and deciding quarter.
Another one coming from Wu Sung-wei. Dreamers have to keep their head in the game here. They're only down by 14 points. Play smarter.
3 quick fouls, 2 away from penalty situation. We have 9.5 minutes to play. Off the inbound from straight away, no good. Offensive rebound by the Slingers. That is the 7th off the ball game for them. Charles working on Chai, and that's an easy bucket for Chris Charles.
Defense coming there for Chai. Easy 2 points for Chris Charles.
Dreamers need a bucket here. Yang Tian-yo, guarded by Alexander. Forte double team at the corner. Forte kicks it out. Kenny Jan, top of the key, no good. Ball tapped to Alexander.
Just a tough possession there for the Dreamers. Great defense being played by the Slingers. Double teaming Calvin Forte and closing out those kick-out passes.
Chris Charles now. They swing it around. They go to Mandani. Has the strength and height advantage over Yang Tian-yo and scores on the step back.
And very methodically attacking the mismatches are the Singapore Slingers.
AJ Mandani, Marco, 26 points now for Singapore.
Chris Charles just erasing that reverse-handed layup by Yang Tian-yo.
Chris Charles with 4 rejections in this game. Mandani misses the 3-point shot.
4-0 start right now for the Singapore Slingers. Here's that block once again. Charles already anticipating where Yang was going to go.
2-time Asean Basketball League Defensive Player of the Year, Chris Charles. 18-point game.
1-3-1 zone now being shown by the red shirts.
Yang Tian-yo will set the table for Formosa. They go to Forte. He goes to the middle. Forte with a miss and an awkward-looking shot.
First time Coach Neo shows us this type of defense this afternoon. Giving the teams a different look. Switching back to man-to-man.
The hammer on now against Russell Lowe. Easy blow by and the bucket there for Forte.
Always so hard to defend, going to his left is Cameron Forte.
What a move there. Able to flip it up high off the glass while falling down. 18 points today for Cameron Forte to go along with 10 rebounds.
He called the foul on Russell Lowe, although Mandani tried to reach in. 5 assists as well for Cameron Forte.
Now with 19. 52-67.
Full-court pressure once again. Aguilar back in the game now, matched up against Charles.
Here's Charles. No good. Russell Lowe with the rebound.
The Slingers have also won those 50-50 balls.
Ball tapped away again from behind. Yang Tianyou goes to the corner. Woo Sung Wei. Bang!
Quick timeout here for Coach Liu Bengshang. He senses a Woo Sung Wei explosion. 10 points right now for the gunner from Formosa.
It is chopped to 12 points, 67-55. Timeout on the floor. Your ABL. We'll be back after this. With 25 points. How about the Formosa Dreamers? This is the closest they have been in this contest since the start of the third quarter, because we started the second half with them down by 11 points, 44-33. And it's been chopped off to 12-55-67 with a lot of time remaining here in the fourth.
And that's correct. And Dreamers have a chance to make a legitimate run here. They just have to play composed and play smart basketball.
Oh, what a rejection there, but Chris Charles with a follow-up.
And that's what we're talking about. Aguilar with a nice rejection, but went to trash talk Xavier Alexander, opening up the follow-up for Chris Charles. And another turnover there coming from Yang Tianyou, opening up another transition play for the Singapore Slingers.
Here, this was the rejection by Ronnie Aguilar. All ball on Xavier Alexander.
Alexander telling him to look up at the basket because his teammate was already there for the putback.
Got the 2 points anyway. Under 7 remaining here. Possession back to the Singapore Slingers. Chris Charles could not get the alley-oop jam to go.
Nice attempt though by the Slingers. Charles not able to get a handle. Chance for the Dreamers once again to cut into this deficit.
Luo Jinshen inserted now for Yang Tianyou. Luo kicks it out. Woo Sung Wei, the fake, the three-point shot, no good. Aguilar offensive rebound, then a putback slam plus the foul.
And that's the type of effort you need from Ronnie Aguilar on a nightly basis. If you want to contend here in the ABL, fighting off Chris Charles on that offensive rebound and that left-handed slam.
And making up for his mistake, his lapse on the defensive end, Ronnie Aguilar with a chance for a three-point play.
Aguilar now with 14 points.
Drops in the free throw. So the Formosa Dreamers knocking on the door, down by 11 points. Alexander loses the basketball. Big turnover for the Slingers.
Very uncharacteristic of the Slingers, rushing into their possessions.
That is turnover number 5, or make that number 6. Today for Xavier Alexander.
Alexander with 7 points. Very unusual for him. Defense has keyed in on Alexander to go with 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
Formosa almost turning the ball over there, but they will recover.
That is going to be an 8-second violation. Just a frustrating afternoon for the Dreamers. Got the stop on one end. Commits an 8-second violation.
Failed and missed opportunity again to chop the lead down to single digits.
Learning process continues here for the white shirts.
They go to Xavier here. Alexander sends it out. Ang Han Bin. No good on the three. Aguilar skying for the rebound. Kenny Chen quickly to the other side. Goes to Forte. Moves away. Fires from the corner. No good.
Carol Forte opting for that long three-point shot instead of taking it strong to the basket.
Ang Han Bin. Back-to-back misses from the outside, but they get the ball back here in a fresh 14.
Another offensive rebound for Russell Lowe.
Chris Charles. Ang Han Bin has the mismatch against Luo Jin Shen. Charles off the mark. Luo. Formosa on the move. They go to Aguilar. Double team inside. Aguilar short on the hook. Han Bin wisely waits for his teammates. He goes to Xavier.
Slingers with an 11-point lead with 5 and 12 remaining.
Xavier again with 4 seconds to shoot. They go to the corner. Ang Han Bin fires. Off to the side.
That's going to be a shot clock violation there. The only thing good on that possession was they were able to milk the entire shot clock. AJ Mandani making his way back. Now with a career high 26 points.
Stats courtesy of TK, the Titan of stats in the ABL. Yang Xianyo also back in for Luo Jin Shen.
Forte asking for a ball screen way up top.
Cameron Forte blows by Chris Charles. And that's the 5th rejection for Charles. Forte could not get the basket, but 2 free throws coming here for Cameron Dakota Forte.
That's only the 2nd personal foul on Chris Charles. So how good has he been on the defensive end? Only committing his 2nd personal foul with 4:44 left in the game.
A chance for Forte to cut this lead down to single digits.
Sorry miss there for Forte, who is now 5 out of 8 from the stripe.
Matching his output yesterday against Chongsun Kung Fu. Forte 1 out of 2. So a 10-point game with under 5 remaining.
Still a lot of time here for the Dreamers.
AJ Mandani back on the floor again. The high point man for Singapore.
Another poor foul here from Yang Tian-yo.
And that puts the Formosa Dreamers in penalty situation.
Right in front of our referee, shoves Desmond O. Now sending Desmond O to the free throw line.
And the consequences of getting the 3 quick fouls with 30 seconds in the 4th quarter will now be manifesting for the Formosa Dreamers. As Desmond drops in 2 free throws.
Desmond, very reliable free throw shooter here.
Dreamers are down by 12, only scoring 59 points today.
That's going to be a holding foul on AJ Mandani.
So the Slingers now 1 foul away from penalty.
Little miscommunication on offense there, as Forte was expecting a ball screen from Woo Sung Wei to get the switch.
Here's Forte, just leaves it off to Mandani. And AJ Mandani.
Got to communicate on offense. If you're the Dreamers, that's another unforced error for the white shirts, leading to another pair of transition points for Singapore.
Timeout on the floor. This was the last basket by AJ Mandani. They're up by 14 points.
You catch it. No. You are this side.挡人 ，Go ISO。如果他换掉了，你就直接抛出来给他，好吧 ？Go。
1, 2, 3.
Back inside Changhua County Stadium, and the lead is up to 14 points again. The Singapore Slingers applying full court pressure with over 4 remaining here. Now a contest. Yang Tian-Yo calmly gets it through. Cameron Forte working on low. Yang using that Aguilar screen. Yang Tian-Yo.
That's going to be a double dribble. Turnover once again after that timeout.
Yang Tian-Yo with yet another turnover here for the Formosa Dreamers.
And you have to remember Yang Tian-Yo, one of the youngest players on the floor.
Only 24 years of age. That is his 4th turnover.
But the Singapore Slingers defense very unforgiving. And they will milk this clock.
Singapore Slingers showing a sense of urgency here in Changhua County Stadium. As AJ Mandani passes it off to Alexander. Chris Charles, nice fake, puts it on the floor. Charles with contact and the basket there.
How about smart move coming from Chris Charles? Up fake, getting Aguilar to bite, and easy layup.
75-69. Formosa trying, or they tried to go for the quick basket on the other end.
How about the defense? Put up by Russell Lowe, has already scored a season-high 11 points.
But Wu Sung-Wei continues to pour it in here in the 4th.
Mathematically, it's still possible, but they're going to need to make stops and score quick baskets. Talking about the Dreamers.
3 minutes remaining, and we have a 13-point game. Russell Lowe, 11 points in the contest, make that 13.
And how big has Russell Lowe been that time, using that right-handed hook against Cameron Forte.
Stepping up for Delvin Go this afternoon. Forte off the spin, is not finished with the offhand. 77-62, Singapore Slingers in a much comfortable distance here to get the W. And that will be against Cameron Forte.
Easy call to make by the referees. Reach in from behind. So Russell Lowe now will go to the stripe, where he is 3 out of 4 today.
The defense of the Singapore Slingers limiting the Dreamers to only 62 points. 18 below to their average allowed points per game.
And that has been their calling card. Defense. That is what has made this franchise successful the past few years here in the Asean Basketball League.
This is Russell Lowe. 13 points in the ball game to go along with 5 rebounds. Alexander getting a big rebound for the Slingers. And it's closeout time for Singapore, approaching the last 2 minutes of this game. Alexander, what a shot, up and under move.
Alexander with 9 points. Subpar outing for him scoring-wise, but It has not been needed as Russell Lowe has stepped up big for the Slingers, and Mandani with a career-high 28 points.
Chen Yuan fires from the corner, no good.
And it looks like they're going to get Russell Lowe.
Personal, yeah.
Yep. Loose ball foul, boxing out against Ronnie Aguilar.
Third personal foul on Russell Lowe, who's been having a splendid afternoon. 13 points, 5 out of 7 shooting, and stepping up big time for the absent Delvin Go. And this is Kenny Chen getting iced on that left quad.
Looks like he got into contact with Xavier Alexander on a previous possession. And Kenny Chen will finish this game with 6 points in 25 minutes of play to go along with 2 rebounds and 1 assist.
One and 40 remaining. Lead is down to 15. Alexander working on Chen Yuan. Alexander gets to the paint, and he gets the bucket on the second try.
Finally breaking into double digits is Xavier Alexander.
With a minute and a half remaining, Marco, 17-point lead by the Singapore Slingers. It looks like the Formosa Dreamers are going to fail to get a victory this season here in Changhua County Stadium.
And again, they tried to be competitive, especially here in the fourth quarter, but several costly mistakes just cost them their momentum.
They've had a lot of close games here as well. Just unable to close out as Woo Sung Wei, 11 points here in the fourth period.
Unfortunately, it's going to be too little too late here for Woo Sung Wei, as Coach Su-Hao Chen has waved the white flag, subbing out Cameron Forte and Ronnie Aguilar. Coach Neo has also subbed out Chris Charles.
Alexander working on Chen Yuan. Now, before we finish this basketball game, Marco, under a minute remaining, we got to thank the fans first of the Dreamers, who have been there for the team all season long, despite the struggles in their inaugural season, as Russell Lowe scores his 15th point off the game.
We'd also like to thank Blackie Chen, the team owner
yes,
of the Formosa Dreamers, who has been such a gracious host to us throughout our coverages here in Taiwan. And this Formosa Dreamers crowd has been one of the most passionate and most supportive despite the record this season.
1 and 18 after this impending loss. And sportsmanlike foul called this late against AJ Mandani.
Because he did not make a play on the ball, AJ Mandani just committing that foul just to get Juni Lim into the game with 26 seconds remaining.
So Yang Tianyao will take the 2 free throws, and the Dreamers will have possession. 26 seconds remaining in the basketball game. And for the Singapore Slingers, Marco, a big bounce back game for them. That gives them a more comfortable cushion in our team standings. A game and a half ahead now of the Saigon Heat.
They're going to move up to 11 and 8. Saigon Heat will be playing the Westports Malaysia Dragons, who are very dangerous with the addition of Chris Eversley and Brian Davis.
And AJ Mandani, another bucket there.
He will reach 30 points, a career high for AJ Mandani.
First 30-point game this season for AJ Mandani, and they get the steal here. Kelvin Lim could not throw it down as time will expire in Changhua County Stadium. The home finale goes to the Singapore Slingers, 87-69 victory on the road.
Just a great job by the Singapore Slingers, all-around performances. Of course, special mention to Russell Lowe, who ties his career high with 17 points. Thank you to our title of stats, TK, for that bit of information. AJ Mandani also with a career-high 30 points.
So 2 career highs for the Singapore Slingers here. Russell Lowe with 17, AJ Mandani with 30 big markers to lead away for the Singapore Slingers. The World Imports also clicked for Singapore. Chris Charles with 18 points, although he was only 9 out of 20 from the field. He did have 17 rebounds and 5 rejections. And Xavier Alexander, who pretty much struggled offensively all throughout the game, only 11 points for him with 10 rebounds and 3 assists and 6 turnovers for the X-Man. But a victory for the Singapore Slingers, their 11th of the season. They go up to 11-8, and they have one more game in the elimination round against the Saigon Heat to finally determine our final playoff picture here in season number 8. With the Formosa Dreamers, this is their last home game of the season. And they go down 0-10 in Changhua County Stadium. But, you know, a bright spot for them, Marco. This is a full year of experience in the Asean Basketball League against international competition. So nowhere to go but up for this team, especially for the young guys of the Formosa Dreamers.
Definitely going to be a team to watch out for next season as they become more competitive. They load up on some new talent, and the local talent that they have right now, gaining a lot of experience in this 8th season of the Asean Basketball League.
All right, our final score again, Singapore Slingers 87, Formosa Dreamers 69. That concludes our back-to-back games here in Changhua County Stadium, the last one of the season here in Taiwan. It has been a pleasure commentating here. And on the other side, their final game, Changhua County Stadium.
好，这场比赛结束之后，我们为你访问到梦想家的吴松伟。那松伟，其实今天这场比赛不是没有赢球的机会。那最后我发现你跟 Forte 有一些沟通上面的情况，那聊聊那一次的 play。
哦，那一次是我们两个沟通不良，可能我听不懂他的意思，他也不懂我的意思，所以我们在交档的时候有搞错，所以那个失误还蛮要命的。对，就
那其实。在这个赛季对你来说，其实基本上从板凳最后面打到先发的位置，那我相信对你来说是一个特别的赛季。那今天是最后一次主场，你怎么看自己这个赛季以及接下来要加强的东西？
这次原本是从板凳出发，然后打到后来是因为在外线有发挥，所以逐渐有找到自己的角色。那因为打到后面几场，其实大家都知道我是会投篮的，所以我现在要加强到这个移位跳或是动位，然后假动作，然后再为下一季做准备。这样。
那其实有人在讨论 SBL 的球队是否今年会投入选秀。那当然，这个赛季结束，甚至 ABL 你还有下一季的机会。那说说未来的动向。
每一万应该还是会留在 ABL， 就是把自己茁壮一点这样。对，
好，谢谢吴松伟。好，那个休息一下，我们待会回到中场的讲评。
87-69, an 18-point victory for the Singapore Slingers here in Changhua County Stadium. A good bounce-back win for them after that tough loss against the CLS Knights in OCBC Arena. And Marco, since this is, you know, the last homestand, final weekend here in Taiwan, at least this season for the Formosa Dreamers, any last thoughts on both Formosa and Singapore after this game?
Well, for the Singapore Slingers, the journey continues for them. It's going to be a tough playoff race as everybody in the top 6 are very competitive. for the Formosa Dreamers, they've treated us to some spectacular basketball. There were stretches where they have been competitive. They've been competitive in pretty much all of their games, barring a couple of blowouts. But against Hong Kong, they took them to the hilt, losing by just 2 or 3 points. They were also very competitive against Chongson Kung Fu. There are bright spots for them, and there are a lot of positives to draw from this season. Hopefully, they will take all of those learnings, retool with some better talent in terms of world imports, heritage imports, and better locals as well to build on the foundation they've built in Season 8 of the Asean Basketball League. But with the commitment of the ownership, yes, and with the support of some amazing fans here in Taiwan, bright things are ahead for the future of this Formosa Dreamers squad.
There you go, the Formosa Dreamers ending, well, their last game here at home, 0-10. The only victory they had was against the Saigon Heat on the road on December 9th in 2017. That was their 3rd game of the season. As we close out here, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us in the coverage here. In behalf of my partner here, Marco Benitez, this is Martin Javier saying good day and see you next time here in your Asean Basketball League.
谢谢周哥董事长，谢谢。我们先请。